happened like once earlier. BMT probably played it, but not someone we get to see often in Smite.
I've been such a big fan of the Agni. When we had the mid laners in studio, when we were making the tier list, I was like, Agni surely got to be like A+, right? Always pretty solid. And they were all like, nah, he's just
nah.
he just doesn't have enough burst.
Disrupt Mike. Mike's doing a good job on the camera there. We'll beckon you into game with the poodle swinging around a bit. Leviathans versus Wardens. Our first matchup of the weekend, Miff. We got 4 SPL versus SEC matches to go today. Remember, double elim tournament, a little bit here and there. But going up against Rongyu on the E set.
Uh-oh.
We talking level 2 ganks here. Panatom blink forward, has damage. It's its worst case scenario. Yark on Lancelot with Bluestone grabs first blood for the Leviathans in game 1. And after the start of the game that Relentless one had, I'll hold that thought because might be happening to Relentless one again here. Stun this time is good. Panatom and Yark will combine for another kill. And Relentless one had a level lead. But now that's going to drop right back down to even as Panatom notches his side. Smart objective call from the Levi's, pulls themselves just about 3,000 gold in the lead. There's your solo kill. We figured it would happen. And Yark makes matters just a bit worse.
Yeah, the Leviathans have just set their pace so quick this game. 3,000 at the 9-minute mark off the back of that objective. And the pacing from Leon so far is uncharacteristic. When I think of this guy, it's constant aggression, yelling into the microphone, just massive comms, like this.
Yeah, things like this. Let's send a gank towards Zapman. That's a stun onto Leon. He'll go up and over. Can he dodge out the powerhouse? Beads are good. You got to hit your autos, Griff. And the first kill of the weekend for the Kaolin Wardens hits Zapman. The Leviathans will lose their hunter. Health and prot shred with those auto attacks seems to be the name of the game here. We'll see if he can do it up against Leon as both ultimates exchanged. It's a game of chicken, but Zapman lands first, dodges out the last pal out chain. Shinto, an important trade out. So Zapman, the forgettable last couple of minutes, and the Wardens have been able to find a bit of pressure on left.
Yeah, Zapman just steps up to try and confirm those oracles for his team. Put Leon, who was level 14 at the time, but maybe it cost you a bit too much.
Wrong, you forced to use the beads, and there's still a pluck on the other end. The circle of protection won't roll through in time, and suddenly the Kaolin Wardens are finding these individual picks again on the left side of the map.
Possibly for the second time this game, finally making a rotation out of that lane. But still, not much to fight over here. Surprised to see the Leviathans grouped on the Pyromancer rather than just the Gold Fury. Maybe it's just an easier win for them.
Well, you do have to look at the XP as well between Griff and Zapman. Griff is 2 levels up over Zap, and so equal advantage for the Leviathans over on right as Gino is silenced. No stun though. Yarkor takes a good mountain of damage here as the ultimate rolls through, and the Pyromancer still stands. So it looks like the Kaolin Wardens showing up in force easily enough, and the Leviathans take the Pyromancer away, despite the Wardens being the team that had pulled it out on the initial retake. Now the team fight breaks out. Rongyu, a couple others chained in by Leon, but no one ultimately gets pulled back into the Palau. Nice double strike from Shinto, as Zapman's got the damage for Gino. Gets a double kill on the Maz while Panatom runs over Leon. It's a triple kill for Zapman. And what a way to get back into this game after an 0-2 start for Zapman. 3 kills drop. Could be the quad around the corner. 1 more auto's all he needs, and Zapman has come back into the game with 4.
Zapman upset with being 66% of the deaths up against the SCC. Will pick himself up a quad. You can't ignore this Hou-Yi, especially with this build. Instead, pick up a neutral objective, stop this back, and potentially send him back to base. But the body bag.
How much trouble Relentless one is in here. And Leon, I mean, this is why you're getting aggressive. You got 4 up against the 2, but look at the Leviathans. They're just going to push down the left side of the map. If Yark can live here.
He's in trouble.
Maybe even if Yark can't live here, this is still a worthwhile trade for the Leviathans. You lose your solo laner. They have enough damage. Yeah, should be a tier 2 tower for the Levi's, but 50 seconds on Yark.
That might be the first.
Actually might have been. We're striking new territory here on the cast with Dolson Myth. As the Leviathans look to close out game number 1 here. A healthy gold lead and a good-looking team fight. Could just end up this game.
Fires
Gino,
off.
though, has found the back line, and a nice stun and a nice block on a Zapman, who uses both actives this time. Did he live somehow?
No.
Zapman? He's out of the fight,
no.
But he's still alive in the back line. Finally gets taken down, but he dealt a whole lot of damage before dying off. Ends up being a 2-for-1 trade. The Leviathans still have plenty of damage if the CC connects, and a long-range Spirit Ball helps set up Shinto. Now you don't have your ranged tower damage quite as consistently. The Wardens may have done enough.
Relentless One's pretty low HP. If he takes another bit of damage, he's just going to fall down. Wrong barely makes his way out of there. The Kaolin Wardens maintain their tier 2 for
guys who've got a lot of rings in the history books. It's like Tom Brady, and then Zapman's right up next, you know?
I might put Zap first. It's less total rings, but they're Smite rings.
But right, as impactful as it's been.
That's right.
Who needs like 8 Super Bowl rings or 7 or whatever Tom Brady's got, you know? Zapman's got 3 Smite World Championship rings. Would love a tournament win here in Smite Summer Masters, but you got to clean up some of this play that we've seen from the Leviathans as of late if you're going to get there. Wardens look like they're willing to show up here around this FG. Almost everyone outside of the supports have reached level 20 here. Leon just the 1 level behind. Panatom finishes up the kin size. Leon's got a bit more burst damage. Good lockdown onto Relentless One. It's the Spirit Ball Strife combos you really got to keep your eyes on. How about this from Yarkor? He'll just walk straight into the back line, into the entirety of the Wardens, and he won't live for it. Shinto does turn around 1 onto Leon. Fire Giant in the meantime goes to the Leviathans. There's more lockdown onto Relentless One. Shinto's already got 2. Zapman adds another. Panatom with 1 as well, and the Leviathans roll through the Wardens and grab themselves a Fire Giant to boot.
Man, Yarkor just walks in intentionally and trades his life for the Fire Giant. The Kaolin Wardens
did a good job. I mean, it's kind of a game recap, but able to put pressure on Zap, get a 2-level lead for Griff, but just never converted that into a team fight win. And the Leviathans knew where their leads were and were able to play around it. Right side Phoenix, a bit of an afterthought here. Entangling wings used by Gino, and a nice strife yet again from Shinto, and goodbye to half of the Kaolin Wardens' overall health pool. Leon is up on the Pala, but he's going to crash down into a world of pain with Zapman on the backside, and Zapman with his 6th of the game. Leviathans fans can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief here. There's already 1 kill. Has dropped for the Levi's. Double strife. How many times have I said that? And the last team fight of the game looking good for the Levi's, and so is game number 1.
Maswal is able to make his way back to Fountain. Can't say this was the same of the other 3 members of his team. The Leviathans cleanly able to close this one out. And it's just objective play, isn't it, throughout the early game that nets them this massive lead, even when they're struggling. Individual picks over to the Kaolin Wardens. The map had already been stripped.
You know, Griff isn't going to bring too much of that, but overwhelming safety, and I think that's what the Leviathans are looking for, because they're like, Zap, we know this is an early game, and you want to get in there and fight, but sometimes, you know, you give them a little bit of a gold, so we're going to have to put you in a little leash.
Myth took my coconut. Now you're going to see it's in his hands. He's caught red-handed. Game number 2, the Leviathans, the Wardens. We'll go down to Dave and Myth for it.
Not entirely true, because nobody saw Myth actually taking the coconut.
I brought this from home.
You brought it from home.
This was in my pocket the whole time.
So there is a coconut in your hands, but how did it get there? Whose is it? All of these things, TBD. All we know is Myth is absolutely drinking out of the 2v2.
Yeah, Maswal desperate to take over to level 3 so he can get Flicker available. Once he does, there'll be a bit more safety.
Dash in from Griff. Remember, no beads for Wrong You. All the stuns and the damage. It's all connecting. Full effect from the Kaolin Wardens in first blood over to the duo lane. Yeah, you get Zapman something safe, but it's Wrong You this time who falls. Level lead over here on right. And so these first rounds of objectives, Myth, in the next 2-3 minutes or so could be very important, or potentially. A gank onto Relentless One. The knock up the silence. It's avoided by Panatom, but Panatom doesn't hit the root himself, and that's just how safe Chalk can be. As Relentless One will teleport out. Now circle protection drops, but Leon, who is trying to make some waves happen, may end up actually being taken down. The tremble, so important, he blinks back through. And Leon, he's gonna get taken down from range by Wrong You. And the Leviathans even up the score at 1.
Call that the Leon shuffle. I'm so used to seeing him do this when you watch
of neutral objectives on the map, Myth. And so you start looking at objective burn, or maybe team fight burn. Leon has got to make the moves happen, and Windfire Wheels defensively will make it happen. Maswal's not going to survive the 3rd gank to mid, though. And finally, the Merlin has been taken down. Could be an opening now for Pyromancer, but at least greater Scorpion for the Levi's.
Man, my man Maswal cannot catch a break. Go underwater. Just a bit too survivable, I think, for Leon to really want to dedicate the time.
Yeah, outside of the triple kill that's guaranteed. No, the double kill that's guaranteed for Zapman.
Yeah.
I expect triple zeros in that KDA column for a little while, unless a fight breaks out right now, and Zapman is forced to fight instead of hanging out in lane and farming out. Tether, Spirit Ball, Dispel Magic, all of it hitting Gino, but a triple stun and a good wall from Gino will help the Cabrakan get out. Now Leon rotates around the backside of the Leviathan. Zapman able to escape over on the right side of the Fury Wall. And Shinto out of mid sends a volley of damage towards the backside of Griff. So a few members of both teams down to half HP. It's Shinto who's engaged upon by Fields of Love and El Leon. First big Windfire wheels of the game. Doesn't do much damage to Shinto, but does lock the Tiamat down. And Panatom gets real low here. Zapman walks forward, takes the Heart Bomb.
He's okay.
And will get out and live. Ends up grabbing the assist, but Shinto is the one who gets the kill.
Man, Charybdis just fits Zapman's styles, and Relentless One finds Shinto in mid. I'm thinking he's dead 100%, but the ability to get out of that Heart Bomb, so valuable. The Kaolin Wardens, Oswald doesn't have that standardized burst. It's not Spirit of the Nine Winds. It's not just a massive Kraken. It's a lot of dot damage.
Leon's going to get ulted here by Yarkor. Ends up turning it back around. Windfire wheels this time on to Panatom. Should be the damage from the Levi's, and it is, but Griff immediately turns around to kill. Looks like on the left side of the map as the Wardens are continuously trading back into the Leviathans. There's just been so many effective kills here over the last couple of minutes from the Wardens. They have not made life easy. Going to steal it away. Double silence. Not good enough. In the last couple of objectives, go to the Kaolin Wardens, both the Gold Fury and the Pyromancer. Is there a fight brewing, though? A couple members of the Wardens still low. That said, Gino's the one walking forward towards Rongyu. Fields of Love used by Griff. That'll send Rongyu backpedaling just a bit. And suddenly Gino is the target of all of the Leviathan stuns, roots, all of it connecting. And Gino doesn't stand much of a chance. Relentless One, big initiation though from the Chalk. But the Kaolin Wardens just need more damage to connect. Stun does not connect with Yarkor because the beads were there. And it looks like the Leviathans will be able to grab one clean trade.
Man, massive initiation from Relentless One, but nobody nearby in position to follow up on that. 4-man silence, 4-man knock-up, but still not able to turn around the engagement. The Leviathans find their one pick, but what will they do with that space? Tier 1 mid-tower could help out a bit.
Zapman sashed and Windfire wheels, and down he will drop, and down he will go. Finally, some follow-up on one of the initiations from El Leon. And it's Zapman. Zapman had beads. Want to be on time for this objective. Relentless One around back. Keep your eyes on the Chalk. Will he teleport back in? Said it's Gino who's initiated on a stun onto Yarkor as Griff steps forward, and Griff is absolutely swinging away on the front line of this fight. Relentless One has a knockup, but doesn't have the damage. Rongyu takes the sash from Leon instead of his solo laner, and a knockup onto Gino from Shinto provides a bit more damage. And Spirit Ball deals the killing blow. Rongyu and the Levi's find the first kill.
Rongyu is just not missing these Spirit Balls, these clutch situations. Gino, if he avoids that, makes his way out of there with his life. The Kaolin Wardens trying to keep pressure up. As long as they can generate...
Griff played that fight pretty well also. Yarkor just survives for so long. So on one side of the map, the Fury gets pulled, but it's now dropped by the Leviathans. Panatom jumps towards Moswall. And my God, the damage that this Osiris does is just not enough still. Somehow, Moswall turns it around and burns down Panatom as El Leon is going to get chased out by the damage from Shinto. And now the Leviathans have lost their jungler. Suddenly, the odds tilting back towards the Wardens around this Fury.
Yeah, Leon has already reset. Moswell's reset.
Maybe major in the mental department.
And it's going to help out on rotations out of base with both teams resetting so often. Could make it difficult to actually do fire.
Gas pedal has been pressed by Leon over in mid. Circle protection baited out. And Rongyu will receive the burst heal this time. Yarkor and Panatom in a 2v2 against Griff and Relentless One over in mid. Shinto does end up getting the kill onto Gino. Should be another one here for Panatom, but it's a trade out as Relentless One's on a killing spree. Here in game 2, the Chalk has just worked out for the Kaolin Wardens. Ends up being a 2-for-1. Wardens duo lane off the map.
You know, I was wondering, the Leviathans had saved.
The Wardens are burning this quickly. Remember, this is where Moswall can make his money with this build. The Wardens have pulled the Fire Giant, and the Wardens secure the Fire Giant, but Gino is trapped in with the Levi's. Panatom makes his way forward. Gino gets ulted by Yarkor. Shinto on a killing spree. The Leviathans a bit of momentum now. You've lost the FG. You'd love to take away as many of those buffs as possible. Could be another one here onto Relentless One. Should be another one here. And Shinto with a double drops the second buff.
Only 3 left from the Kaolin Wardens. Fire Giant on all their belts with the Leviathans 5 strong and healthy. Can keep up this siege. Panatom acting as
Leviathans
solo.
can step forward, take out the left side Phoenix. Here's an aggressive wall from Gino, but is it gonna bite him this time? Gino and the Cabrakan immediately have to back away as Leon has found an initiation onto Panatom, but not the target he was hoping for. Relentless One burned down, and Shinto will end this game likely on a rampage as an ultimate from Yark connects. And again, bend becomes break for the Kaolin Wardens. The Leviathans burst forward, and they'll take game 2 in the set over the Kaolin Wardens.
I can't believe Zapman in the 38th minute gets the double kill you've been calling for. Gino stepping forward, but not much he could do. The Leviathans just so methodical in their approach to base siege off of the back of one Fire Giant, able to find themselves the win. And I think you're right. That's all off the back of the Wardens kind of losing the thread there. They get split across the map, and the